Yeah, last summer I went to Europe. That was my big trip. I went to Europe last summer. That was cool. I spent 6 weeks out there. 6 weeks in Europe. All I learned while I was out there is that we are the fattest and dumbest. I had heard this rumor, but I'm like, you're wrong. And I went out there, I'm like, yeah, you pegged us. I was in Europe 6 weeks. I saw one fat guy. I ran up to him like, oh my God, he was American. He was on vacation too. The cargo shorts should have given it away, but I was like, maybe not. Maybe they're also wearing Old Navy 4th of July t-shirts. Maybe that's not just us. Maybe that's an international holiday now. It got spread around. I liked it out there. I liked Europe because they had so much history out there. They're older than we are, and I like that. I like being around history. They had a building in Scotland, had a plaque on it, said it was built in the year 800. That blew me away. I was like, you guys were keeping score back then? That's amazing. The year 800? That's wonderful. I grew up here. I grew up in San Diego. There's no history here. This town was built in, like, I don't know, 2003? We have a historical tour, too, but it sucks. Don't go on it. Just some guy like me walking you around, stealing your money. Going, hey, you see that Jamba Juice over there? Yeah, that used to be a Blockbuster. So get in, get your picture taken. I liked it out there. I went to Scotland. Scotland was cool. They had warned me before I went there. They're like, dude, be ready. They drink more than we do. And I'm like, no, I've been to some pretty crazy places. And then I went there, and I'm like, yeah, you win again. My first night in Scotland, I knew I was in trouble. I walked in, I was walking downtown, and I saw a lady sleeping on the streets. She wasn't even homeless, just a regular lady. She was wearing regular going-out lady clothes. She looked like she had a bed indoors somewhere, but she's like, but it's bedtime now. So she just laid down on the streets. She didn't even fold a sweater to make a pillow, just face to concrete. She had her phone by her head like she set an alarm. It was the most responsible yet irresponsible thing I had ever seen. It was absolutely wonderful. I also went to Paris while I was out in Europe. Paris was the one place I wasn't looking forward to going because people are like, watch out if you go out there, man. They're rude, so be ready. And I'm like, I don't know how to prepare for that. How are you supposed to prepare for rudeness? Like, what are you supposed to do? Just work on your comebacks? Brush up on yo mama jokes? What the hell are you supposed to do? I don't know how to prepare for rudeness. This is my game plan. I was just going to keep my knees soft, feet shoulder width apart. Just kind of bob and weave, right? I'll be able to bob and weave the nonsense. Just like, yes, I am aware who my president is. And I can get around it. And it'll be fine. You know what, though? I was in Paris for 6 days. Nobody was rude. Everyone was super polite. I think the problem with the French is their faces. They're beautiful people, but they have very angular faces. They always look like they're about to say something rude. Like every person I saw in Paris had some version of this look on their face, just like a... Right? Like that looks like something rude's coming at any moment. So one day I was trying to get to the Louvre Museum, and I ran up to this guy, and I'm like, excuse me, monsieur, do you know which bus I gotta take to get to the Louvre Museum? And this dude turned, just like... I was like, all right, man, here we go. Let's do this. But he was just like, oh, just hop on the 95. It'll take you right there. And I was like, I was not expecting that. I apologize. That was my fault. I was putting that on you based on what I had heard. I was judging you based on your angular faces. And they're tall and beautiful people. They all have 32-inch waists running around while they're carrying baguettes. That goes against every diet known to man. You're not allowed to have a 32-inch waist eating a yard of white bread every day. I think it's a conspiracy. I don't think they eat it. I saw them all carrying one, but I never saw anyone take a bite. It's a conspiracy. They do that to mess with us, the American tourists. I think they all have one in their little apartments right before they leave. Like, I got my keys, my wallet, whoop, my baguette. Make sure to prance around with that. Everyone second guesses their dietary choices.